My initial reason for talking to Ted was simple. I wanted to know what happened at Gibson in the 50s. I wanted to know how they glued the tops on. I wanted to know how they wind the pickups, what kind of glues they used for the fret wire, how did they glue I wanted to know all of it. I wanted him to come and consult to our company, our young PRS guitars. I remember Clay Evans, who's the president at the time, said, just call him. I was like, I can't call him. He says, just call him. So I called him. I said, I want you to come here. He says, I can't, I'm blind. You have to come to me. I said, is it all right? He said, sure. So I was gonna hire him to consult for us, right? So I went up and interviewed him for a day, and then at the time our purchasing agent, Gene Lacouture, came up, and we went and talked to him about that stuff. And I went up and interviewed him another time, and the third time he got really angry. And I said, what's wrong, Ted? And he said, nobody's asked me these questions in 20 years. You want to know how we glued the frets in. You want to know how we made the bodies. You want to know how we did all this stuff. And everybody's talking to me, just wants to get rich quick. You got an old Les Paul in your basement, in your attic, you know. Is there a Flying V? You know, there's an Explorer. How about a Moderne, right? And for him, he says, this is the way I made my living, and somebody's actually interested in the way I made my living. I think he was upset that a certain company hadn't asked him how they did it. I thought the world of him. I thought he was a champion. He used to come to a moment, and anybody that was here at PRS would know that, you know, he was almost asleep. Ted's time for an interview. He'd wake up, do the whole interview, perfect, go back to sleep. He was the champion, he was great. Ted was the beginning of part of our history, you know. The first electric guitar was made in 1923, but by the time Ted McCarty and Leo Fender were going at it in competition, a whole new industry started. When I was at the patent office, I kept going through patents that were in our industry, and the ones that I had seen on my bench in my repair shop either had the name Leo Fender or Ted McCarty on them. And, well, who's this Ted McCarty guy, you know? I got very interested in who he was because I'd seen all these inventions on my desk. Ted McCarty was a huge part of our beginnings of our fledgling electric guitar business. And in the end, he became our teacher. He became our supporter. He became our endorser, really, because we had a McCarty model. Couldn't even see it. He goes, it's a beautiful guitar. He was putting his hands on it. He kind of had peripheral vision, you know. He could see it out of the periphery. Yeah, he really liked it. And the day I showed him the McCarty guitar, it was the day he showed me the patents. He handed me the Flying V patent, he handed me the Explorer patent, he handed me the Tune-O-Matic patent, the McCarty Bridge patent, the Les Paul patent, all these patents. It was like, we showed him the guitar. I wasn't after those patents. That's not why I showed up. I wanted to learn about guitar making, and I was saying, Ted, we're gonna go to market with this McCarty guitar. He really liked the idea, big time. They were thicker. They had two covered humbucking pickups in it. There was a toggle switch on it. It had at that time, what was called a wide fat neck. It was basically a double cut version of where he came from. So we're coming out with a McCarty model again. Here we go.